Poor Greg Kelly. He's the gift that keeps on giving. The misery, the bitterness, the sorrow, the wasted angst. It's just incredible. It is. I am always amazed at just how brutally miserable this dude is. Even when getting things that he would allegedly want. It's super, yeah. Poor my foot, FM. I agree, Suze. I'm being facetious. I don't give a fuck about Greg Kelly. He's an asshole. And then, you know, he's basically saying the exact same thing that that Don Jr. is saying. Like, there's just this, it's almost like Newsmax has an accent. But this is what led to the post-Putin Biden meltdown. This is going to be, so Biden, snapped at a reporter. He's like, wait a minute, if you don't ask me that kind of question, if you don't know anything about diplomacy, and his annoyance was you're trying to pick a fight where there is none. We got work to do. That was the whole thing. Yes, Juneteenth, absolutely. Thank you, Laurasia. Very excited about Juneteenth. It's a huge step forward. And again, other presidents had the ability to do it, and didn't. So it's kind of cool. Again, it's just another check off on the list of things that I was like, glad I voted for this dude. All right, so it's just awesome. Anyway, so the idea was that Biden came out and he kept answering questions after he was done, and it's how they talk about he goes, I got to get going because I'm going to get in trouble. When they say that, Greg Kelly and others make it look like Biden's a puppet for somebody else and they tell him where to go. When it's super clear at this point that when Biden is talking about not continuing to talk, he means I'm going to say some shit and get myself in trouble. That's what he's talking about. Who's super chat that I missed? Beg your pardon? Robert, I don't miss them. I see them. I just only reference the ones that go by when I'm not in the middle of a rant. So I appreciate it, though. We definitely do. Everybody, big round of applause for Robert, by the way. Brunswick Jr. and Benny Loco for reminding everybody to give a thumbs up and a like and a subscribe. And Twitch, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got a bunch of new followers. You guys, I'm just saying you should subscribe. Just do it. So the storyline they tell is that Kamala Harris or Obama / Hillary Clinton is telling Biden what to do and he's a puppet, and that's the argument that they make, and that's why he said they think Biden says I'm going to get in trouble. I should stop. I gotta get out of here. And what he's talking about is he's got an Irish temper and he's going to get short with you guys. And so I should probably get out of here. I'll just finish my questions. I'll answer one more question, then I got to get out of here. I'm going to get in trouble. What he means is I'm going to yell at you guys because you're being assholes. That's kind of what that means. So it's what it meant when he said it, when he was taking extra questions after his thing, which, by the way, went, there was no point where Putin on his way out went, all right, I'll take a couple. What? There was no moment where he went back. So just overall, that's my 2 cents on it. So, but according to Greg Kelly, it wasn't him getting short with not yet, Amy, but I hope to very soon. We'll see. I don't want to assume. Maybe Greg Kelly, maybe there was another meltdown. Maybe there was an actual meltdown I'm just not aware of.
The summit of the century. President Putin, President Biden.
It's right, dude, it's kind of interesting that it's not the summit of the century. No one would ever say it was. And I mean, I know he's doing this in a mocking tone, but it's interesting that you said President Putin first. That does stick out to anybody? Anybody?
Geneva, Switzerland. The stakes could not be, well, they actually could be a lot higher. This was a no big deal summit. I think everybody needs to take a deep breath.
Yeah, take a breath, guys. Just because Biden did great and Putin just kind of sucked air and he didn't look strong at all. He looked kind of deflated and weird. And the press conference that Biden put out kicked Putin's press conference's ass. Guys, don't get excited. I know I was hyping this whole thing to be a massive failure that would be a huge win for Putin, but it really wasn't that important to begin with.
The fake news wants us to think that this is the moment. It's not. The Cold War is over.
Yes, the Cold War is over. I agree. It is like 112 outside. The Cold World. You guys remember growing up in the Cold World where we would all hide under our desks to avoid icicles?
What was adding to the suspense a little bit? Would Joe Biden screw up? Because the media have covered for this guy for a long time. And guess what? He did.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. What was the little? So it was a little summit with a little screw up. But please turn it into the end of the world. From Russia, no love. Something you could never say about Trump.
But they're still taking care of him. Inside the meeting, they talked, doors closed for about 2 hours. What happened? No.
Yeah, it was a 4-hour meeting. Both of them present for the first 2 hours, and then their teams got to work on what they agreed on or disagreed on.
No substantive agreements, really.
They extended the START treaty. It's kind of a big deal.
Some broad expressions of goodwill. Nothing when it comes to cyber. This was
What are we supposed to do? Share?
Again, revealing when they wrapped it up, the tradition, the protocol, really, both leaders appear together for a joint press conference.
Yeah, that would be true if this asshole was in the G8, but he G-ain't.
The Biden administration could not have it. First, it was Vladimir, a trained propagandist, and quite frankly, he told some doozies when it comes to tall tales, maybe even lies. But Joe,
maybe. I mean, don't upset him. I mean, look at his awesome Geneva 2021 backdrop, and and the Russian Federation logo. Look how little it is. Look at it's adorable. Look at this. I think they have a extra small one to make him look bigger. That is obviously, that's a toddler podium. The dude is 5'7", and that podium comes up to his hip bones. And then this is Biden's. This is, see, because do you think if they'd have done a two-man, Greg, Booby, do you think if they'd have done both of them together, do you think they'd both be at the Putin presser? Or they would have both been on this really nice stage we Americans set up? Where do you think Biden would have stepped down to this level and been in the basement of the Ramada? He's on a step stool? Fabulous.
Joe Biden wasn't on the stage with him. Joe Biden took another stage later, outdoors for some.
Yeah, outdoors for some reason. Because they didn't have, you couldn't fit the size of the stage in there.
Reason, it was 87 degrees, 87 degrees. Why couldn't he have done it inside?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, get to the tough stuff, Greg. Why couldn't he have done it inside? I guess this giant stage and the American flags we brought wouldn't fit in that pissant little room. If this was Trump, you would. If this was Trump, Greg Kelly would be bent over, holding his knees, like farting the American, like the Star Spangled Banner, in celebration of the fact that Trump brought the big flags. Good God.
Where it was air conditioned.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That was actually a factor. 87 degrees.
87 degrees. Amazing. Yeah.
And the heat started to get to Joe. We'll start with Joe. Yep, there he goes.
Because of the sun, not because of the actual heat. It was actually a nice day out. He was directly in the sun. See the sun behind him? See that? Because he could afford to be outside. See, the American president can be outside without fear of snipers killing him or people, shooting him with a space ray. Unlike Putin, who can't be seen stepping outdoors.
Takes off the jacket and puts it actually on the floor of all places. I thought an aide might snap to it, but that did not happen. So.
Yeah, he's kind of handled it himself. But I'm glad there was a tense moment there.
After that, what did he do? Well, like Vladimir Putin, he told some doozies. Actually, I'm just going to call it a lie.
Okay, so you wouldn't call Putin's lies, but you'll call the American president's statements that you don't like lies. Let's see what they were.
Mr. President, when President Putin was questioned today about human rights, he said the reason why he's cracking down on opposition leaders is because he doesn't want something like January 6th to happen in Russia. And he also said that he doesn't want to see groups formed like Black Lives Matter. What's your response to that, please?
My response is kind of what I communicated, that I think that's a ridiculous comparison. It's one thing for literally criminals to break through cordon, go into the Capitol, kill a police officer, and be held unaccountable. And it is for people objecting and marching on the Capitol and saying, you are not allowing me to speak freely. You are not allowing me to do A, B, C, or D.
Did you hear the part where he said?
Yeah, the what part? Which part was it? Oh, it's got to be good.
They killed a cop?
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going to say that Sicknick died the next day?
That is not true.
No. It took him 24 hours to die. They were long gone by the time he actually died. You know, anybody who gets shot, if they survive the night, whoever shot them is no longer liable. It's really the doctors that killed him if you think about it.
And one of the reasons why we don't want to lock up people, Michelle Malkin calls it an American gulag. These people.
That's because she's a moron. American gulag. A gulag. By the way, you know who has real gulags?
People in jail since January 6th for so long because you don't want our adversaries pointing that out. We used to be better than this, locking up.
Sorry, no. We didn't used to have Americans storming the castle saying hang the vice president after having built a gallows on the ground. This didn't come up before. What the fuck?
People. And then there were some substantive questions that were asked, interesting questions that Joe just felt compelled to blow off.
President Putin had called you in his press conference an experienced person. You famously told him he didn't have a soul. Do you now have a deeper understanding of him after this meeting?
Thank you very much.
But on the military response, sir?
Like he's the one who went. I think she's the reporter he went back to and actually answered. And what was the substantive one? Why was that substantive? Honest to God.
No, we didn't talk about military response.
So he answered the actual germane question. No, we didn't talk about military use of force in dealing with cyber warfare. We didn't discuss that. And quite frankly, if he did discuss it, I wouldn't expect an honest answer to the press about something like that, because that's really an answer for the Russians in a lot of ways, right? I mean, it's not difficult. I mean, it's difficult for Greg. At this point, I'm not convinced he's actually wearing pants. Not because he's a perv or weird or anything, but because he can't figure out the mechanics of getting, both legs in each of their trouser leg.
He loves those sunglasses, thinks he looks cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's devastating, Greg.
You listen to the question if you're going to answer it, and then look at this. This is borderline harassment of...
Borderline harassment. Holy shit. Please, Greg Kelly, tell us how the president should treat the press.
A young reporter from CNN. Take a look.
Why are you so confident he'll change his behavior, Mr. President?
Yeah, I'm not confident in changing behavior. What the hell? What do you do all the time?
So
when did I say I was confident?
You said in the next 6 months you'll be able to determine.
What I said was.
Yeah, she answered him back, by the way, in that moment. You said you'd be able to determine in the next 6 months, which doesn't sound like he's saying he's confident. They'll know whether or not they can trust what he's saying or he's making any in the next 6 months.
Get it straight. I said what will change their behavior is if the rest of the world reacts to them and it diminishes their standing in the world. I'm not confident of anything. I'm just stating the fact.
But given his past behavior has not changed, and in that press conference after sitting down with you for several hours, he denied any involvement in cyber attacks. He downplayed human rights abuses. He even refused to say Alexei Navalny's name. So how does that account to a constructive meeting as President Putin?
If you don't understand that, you're in the wrong business.
Did you catch that? If you don't understand that, you're in the wrong business.
Right. I can't imagine. Yes, wait, please, Greg. tell us how being rude to a member of the press is a sign of weakness of a president. Please.
Blowing his top and
Blowing his top.
harassing a female reporter.
Oh, yeah, now you care.
What a way to wrap up a diplomatic summit, huh? And then when he got to the airport, Air Force One, he wasn't done ridiculing the press that, by the way, has covered for him from the beginning.
Well, and apparently they aren't covering for him. They're just covering him.
What concrete evidence do you have?
This got ugly fast.
From these 3+ hours that suggests that any movement has been made. And I don't mean that.
I know, but you're all.
Question.
Look, to be a good reporter, you got to be negative. You got to have a negative view of life. Okay, it seems to me the way you never ask a positive question. Why, in fact, having agreement? We'll find out.
Joe, the reporters have covered for your alleged corruption, your cognitive issues.
Which apparently you didn't use alleged, although Putin didn't. That's interesting.
I could go, Hunter, and you're calling them out for being negative, huh?
What about Hunter? Sorry. There is no Hunter Biden laptop. I stand by that.
Media, you shouldn't have done this guy any favors. All right.
Yeah, here's what you, as the press, somebody who's a legit journalist, what you might do is play the rest of the answer. And also where he apologized for snapping at the other reporter instead of just going, you are fake news, and then not letting you in anymore.
It's time to look at, I want to point this out. This is Joe Biden scripted. Yeah, they had a great big fat teleprompter. Looks like he...
Yeah, that's how speeches work. You have a teleprompter, Greg.
Ditched it a little bit prematurely. Okay, now Vladimir Putin's turn. He took 37 questions from the press as opposed
and I mean, like a real man. Try not to chub, Greg.
to Joe Biden's, 17 or so.
And look at this. And he read from a teleprompter. Oh, God.
Let's start with the big issue of the day, cyber attacks.
U.S. sources claim that the majority
Vlad was up for the challenge. Jesus Christ, Greg. Does your jaw hurt from cradling his balls?
of cyber attacks are made from the U.S. territory. Then a second one is Canada, then 2 Latin American states, and then the UK. As for Russia, it is not listed in this ranking of countries that see the significant number of cyber attacks from their territory.
Cyber attacks? We know nothing of cyber attacks. We do not wage cyber attacks. You wage cyber attacks. He's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, he's awesome. It's so good. It's amazing. I mean, look how coherent and everything. It's almost like his answers are by rote.
Deny everything, admit nothing, make counter accusations. What else?
America has just recently went through, grievous.
What a weird chyron for this guy. Seriously? Fuck.
Chain of events after a certain African-American individual was killed, and an entire movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, appeared. I'm not going to go into details. I will spare you them. But we've seen pogroms. We've seen, looting and violations and riots. We sympathize with the Americans, but we do not want for the same thing to happen on the Russian soil, and we'll do anything possible to prevent this.
Yeah, what are they doing? I think the lack of black people entirely might be.
You see, the junk from the past year, the far left propaganda, the stigmatizing of
the stigmatizing
our
sure.
cops, that has damaged our position on the world stage. There's more.
People went.
Well, I'm sorry, on the world stage? I didn't realize this was the world stage. I thought that we were talking about Vladimir Putin, the head of a country that's basically a gangster kleptocracy that we have a $38 billion trade, I guess, in total with both directions. Jesus.
Into US Congress with political demands. 400 people are now facing criminal charges. They are...
Yeah, they physically charged the place. You diverted a plane to arrest Alexei Navalny after he went to get medical attention because you poisoned him. Get the fuck out. But don't worry, Vlad. Greg Kelly is here in case your balls start to droop.
Are facing prison terms of up to 20, maybe 25 years. They are called homegrown terrorists. They are being accused of...
Yeah, because they actually charged into the Capitol violently. I mean, they tased a cop till he had a heart attack. They beat them with Blue Lives Matter flags. I missed the part, and please show video, Greg Kelly, of Alexei Navalny bursting through a barricaded door and not being shot.
Many other things. 70 people were arrested right there on the spot. 30 of them are still arrested. On what grounds? Not quite clear. One of the participants, a woman, was shot dead on the spot. She was not threatening with, with arms.
Please. Please. Okay, hold on. Sorry, what? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's definitely bursting through a window right now. That guy's definitely punching his way through. These ladies all look like they're, yeah. I mean, obviously this guy was climbing through a window trying to attack the Capitol when this happened. They're just, Capitol happens to be out on the sidewalk. Uh-huh. Russia's great that way. Fucking hell.
Or anything.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yes, he is. He's wrong. Greg, he's fucking wrong. What the hell is wrong with you?
Wrong. Look, I'm rooting for Joe Biden here on the internet.
No, you're not. You are absolutely not. Vlad was up for the challenge. Go fuck yourself. What are you talking about? How is this in any way anything short? I mean, this might as well be an RT sequence.
International stage, but it looks to me like he was owned today. Look at...
You desperately need that to be true. It isn't.
Putin here, calm, under control.
Cool, because he's in a basement.
Joe Biden, I mean, confronting a reporter saying hell and you don't know your business, that was not good. Now, there's a reason why you want leaders who are cognitively with it, at the top of their game. Russia, the Soviet Union.
Hold on. Let's see.
Like you.
Let me see, if I may. You need somebody who's at the top of his game, sure.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
You're not known to be a humble man, but I wonder.
I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
I mean, let's see if there's
Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large
a brain. But please, Greg, tell us. I mean, we can't go even through all these. Yeah.
Learned this a long time ago. There was an era that
the tables have turned. All three of these fuckers were dead for weeks when they were like, he's got this a light sniffle.
there where their leaders were like mummies, fossils, really way up there in age. Brezhnev, Andropov, Chernenko. Nobody ever saw these guys for years at a time. They don't want that anymore. So they go with a younger guy with vitality, Putin.
A younger guy with vitality. He murdered his way to the top. What are you going to call Kim Jong-un? Curvy? Vivacious?
We're going in the other direction for some reason. I do have to pick up on this. President Putin said, we have essentially an American gulag here in America.
Yeah, no, we don't.
January 6th, so many people still in custody. Things were broken. Things shouldn't have happened. There was trespassing. None of these people killed the cop. That's wrong, Joe Biden.
No, they were there as part of a mob that made it happen. They stomped people. One of their own was trampled to death. They built a fucking gallows, you goon.
Ashley Babbitt was killed, and she was unarmed. And we still...
Excuse me, the officer did not know that at the time, and she was breaking through a glass that was a barricaded doorway, and there were Congress people in the back, and it was that officer's duty to protect them, and there were a bunch of people behind her. Where in this, like, the idea that Ashley Babbitt is some sort of martyr for freedom is fucking gross.
Still don't have the full story. This makes...
Yeah, because your viewers will murder that police officer. Jesus.
Us vulnerable. The fact that this is going on and no one's talking about it, he's watching, our enemies are watching.
And so what? Oh God, we might lose a third of the $38 billion worth of trade we do with Russia. Gee, what the fuck will we do? It's like getting your takeout order and they forgot to put a straw in the bag. Oh my God.
And they're taking notes. And Joe Biden doesn't have any good answers. And even if he was asked a question, he's not practiced. We don't want that. That's one of the reasons why he was not on the stage with Vladimir Putin.
No, he wasn't. He was not on the stage with Vladimir Putin because Vladimir Putin does not deserve to share the stage with the American president after murdering people in parks in Germany and England as an attempted murder, and then pushing doctors out windows when they talk honestly about COVID. What does he think he is, the governor of Florida?
All right.
No, not all right. You're an asshole.
Who else was not in Geneva? Hunter Biden. He had a great big entourage. He did not take his son. I think was Jill.
Why?
Still there? I'm not sure about that. Hunter has been known to make international trips before. Here he is with his dad in China. But the news lately about Hunter Biden, suddenly he's an artist. At the age of 51, Hunter Biden is the new...
Oh, that's funny. Hunter and I are the same age. That's adorable. The president has a son my age. That's kind of sweet.
Banksy, he is...
Matter of fact, I think Biden's my dad's age. That's fascinating.
The new...
Wait a minute. I do have a good smile. I do look great in aviators. Mom. No, I'm just kidding.
Thomas Kincaid. Yes, I like Thomas Kincaid. Take a look at this. He fashioned a pipe laying around the house and, well, anyway, he's some sort of an artist. The fake news says so. Look at this. Look at these headlines. They say...
Is it... He's actually painting. It looks like... Why would it be fake news if we're actually... I mean, did someone bring these paintings in and he's pretending that he made them? That would be the fake news part of it.
He's great How much will these paintings go for? Prices for Hunter Biden's work will range from $75,000 for works on paper to as high as $500,000 for large-scale paintings. Art dealers have praised Hunter's artistic ability, saying his work could be worth big bucks.
Can we just hold for a moment and understand that what you're seeing on Greg Kelly's face right now is the most brutal form of jealousy that exists in humanity. This is beautiful. I just want to sit with this for a moment. Greg, fucking hell. You do realize it's, art adds to the world and harms no one. There is no taking away from other artists because some artists do well. It's just art. That's the great thing about it. It's in many ways the purest form of capitalism. It's not resource based. Comes right out of your head. It's just a matter of materials or not having materials. You can make art with or without all the same stuff the great artist had. So, yeah, it's brutal, isn't it? And here you are doing your pretend version of Fox News. Womp wah.
Again, 51, a star is born. Look, Hunter Biden can't do international business anymore, all right? He could get away with that when his father was vice president, but this is a whole new level. You've heard the allegations by now. I don't believe any of them, but please don't let that stop you. New York Post did some fascinating reporting on this. Tony Bobolinsky and Rudy Giuliani. Could this be a way, this art situation, a way of getting money to the big guy? Here's Rudy Giuliani.
Sure.
Your prince.
October 2020.
Got it. The Prince of Darkness, Joe Biden.
I remember we did this one.
The guy who used his son, a drug addict.
Dude, you look like Nosferatu if he was a manager at a hotel. Jesus Christ.
To be his bag man.
Well, yeah, but we've been through... Oh, God, do we have to cover this bullshit again? The bag man doesn't complain to the Godfather that the Godfather is taking half of the bag man's money. It doesn't work that way. It's either that he's a bag man for his dad or the bag is his. Which is it? Jesus. And that his dad's stealing half of his...
I think he's on to something.
Yeah, I think he's on something. Pervitin would be my guess.
You just watched news.
That's it? That was the whole thing? You end up playing an old clip from October of Rudy Giuliani about Hunter Biden and painting. That's all you got out of the Putin-Biden summit. That was it? Jesus.